What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for my very first video, I think, for 2025. And of course, for this review of 90 Day Fiance Before the 90 Days. So before we get into the foolishness, I first just want to say my condolences and prayers go out to the city of New Orleans and everybody that was affected by that really, really tragic event that took place at the beginning of the year. And I'm just kind of like, I'm feeling a little bit apprehensive now as to how things are going to be looking for us as a nation, moving forward into the new year, moving forward into 2025, if our year started off with such tragic, horrible events. So I'm kind of getting worried now. I had before the new year started, I was feeling very hopeful and optimistic because I didn't feel that great about 2024 when it began, but I felt very hopeful and optimistic for 2025. But after seeing what happened in New Orleans, I don't know. So let's just please stay prayered up and stay safe. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not leaving my house until it's absolutely necessary for me to leave my house. But we can't let that one tragic event, affect our day-to-day lives. Just have to keep on living and keep on praying. So just my very deep, heartfelt condolences go out to New Orleans, everybody affected. And let's get into it. So 90 Day Fiance Before the 90 Days, Season 7, Episode 19, Never Let Me Go. Let's get started with Vea and Sunny. So Vea and Sunny, they're at their hotel and they're getting ready to go meet with Sunny's father, because Sunny has decided to go ahead and let his father know now that him and Vea are engaged instead of postponing it, because Vea had convinced him it's better just to tell him now than to wait, because the longer you wait to tell him, the more upset he's going to be. So before they leave, though, he tells her to change her outfit because whatever she had on, he felt like it wasn't respectful enough to meet his dad in. She had on one of her usual, halter tops, midriff type of shirts. So she changed. She didn't argue. She didn't put up any kind of resistance. She went ahead and changed her clothes. And so they get to the restaurant and they're the first ones to arrive before Sunny's father arrives. And they sit down at the table. The waiter is setting down the drinks and the waiter accidentally knocks over one of the glasses. And whatever was in the glass had spilled all over the table, all over the floor. And Sunny was like, oh, I don't think if this isn't any indication of how things are going to go. I don't think things are going to go well. So the father finally arrives, and the father still feels some kind of way about how Vea had abruptly walked off at their last meeting. And so he's still kind of perturbed by that. And Vea, first of all, Sunny started to apologize for Vea leaving the way she did at the last dinner. And the father tells Sunny, you don't have to apologize for her. She can speak. So Vea starts off by saying that the reason why she left the way she did at the last dinner was because she felt very attacked. She felt like her religion was being attacked. She felt like she was being attacked for her tattoos and for basically being who she is. And she also suffers from anxiety. And so that's why she ended up leaving the way she did. And the dad says that it's too late for apologies. He's like, he's not trying to hear none of that. He's like, it's too late for apologies. Sunny says that she doesn't understand their culture and he begs his dad to forgive her. I don't know what culture has to do with being rude. Okay. I don't know. This wasn't a cultural thing. It was just a manners thing and a personality thing. The way that she had left at the last dinner, the way that she just walked up and walked away. So I don't know why he had to put culture into it. Okay. You can only blame cultural differences for so many things, not everything. And I felt like her leaving was rude. I think that she should have made up an excuse, given her apologies, and then left if she felt like she couldn't continue with the dinner. So I don't know why he had to say, oh, she doesn't understand our culture. No, she just didn't have any manners at that particular incident, at that particular moment. I'm not saying that she's a rude person in general. I'm just saying at that particular moment, she forgot her manners because she was so overwhelmed with what was going on and what was being said. So she blames it on her anxiety. Sunny blames it on cultural differences. So the dad wants to know what's their plan. Like, what are y'all planning to do in the future? Like, what is this? What are we doing here? And Sunny tells his dad that they had gotten engaged. So he drops the bomb on his father that they are now engaged. And the dad is like, nope, I don't think so. No, you're not. So the dad says that they should have told him before Sunny actually proposed. Like basically he wanted his son to consult with him, maybe even both of them to consult with him before they made the decision to get engaged, which would have been absolutely pointless because he would not have approved. And I don't know what he could have said to make Sunny change his mind. Well, you know what? Now that I think about it, maybe the father, if the father would have told Sunny before they got engaged, if he would have told Sunny, look, if you go on with this, then you don't have a father anymore. You can forget about me. Our relationship is done. Maybe Sunny would have had second thoughts. You know, if his father had let him know beforehand how serious it was going to get if he went forward with the engagement, maybe would have Sonny might have thought twice about it. I don't think Sonny would have convinced his dad to accept him being engaged to Vea because the dad is very much entrenched in his own beliefs. So I don't think his dad would have been changing his mind, but it could have changed Sonny's mind. So Vea says that, the father asks, are you going to convert? And the answer to that was unequivocally no, she's not going to convert. Vea says that Sonny told her she didn't have to convert. And the father then tells us that Sonny having a Christian wife would bring shame to the family. And the dad tells Sonny that if this is what you're going to do, if this is what you want to do, then don't count on me for anything. Sonny tells her this is exactly what he was trying to avoid, being disowned basically by his dad. This is what he was trying to prevent from happening. And Sonny goes on to tell us that growing up, with his dad not in his life, it was hard. And it took a very long time for him to build a relationship with his father. Now, when I watch the dynamic between Sonny and his dad, I can see that they do have a strong bond. And I see that Sonny really looks up to his dad and that he does want to impress his dad, but he also wants to move on with his life, and he also wants to have a woman, and he wants to have this woman in his life. But I do see that he does love and adore his father, and I do see that the pain his father caused him by basically disowning him, it was very painful for Sonny. So the dad gets up and he walks out of the restaurant. Sonny and Vea follow him outside. They're trying to reason with him. They're trying to let him know that we're not trying to disrespect you. We're trying to show you the utmost respect, but you need to, give us a chance and, see it our way, et cetera, et cetera. The dad is like, I don't want to talk to either one of you. I don't want to see your faces. I don't want to hear your voices. I don't want to feel your presence around me. I need y'all to get the hell away from me. And it's over. There's nothing to talk about. There's nothing to discuss. And then he walks to his truck and the man drives off. He is done. Okay. He is done. And after all of that, all I can say is I have to put the majority of the blame on, in my opinion, the majority of the blame really should go to Sonny because he knows how his dad is. And he knows that he knew that his dad was not going to accept this. And either Sonny had already made up his mind that he was going to do what he wanted to do, regardless of his dad's opinion or reaction, or he should have told Vea in the very beginning, look, I'm Muslim. And if you're going to be with me, you're going to have to convert. If this relationship goes further, you're going to have to end up converting because I cannot marry a woman that is not Muslim. They should have had the discussion long ago before the feelings had gotten as strong as they were, because it seems like Sonny does have very strong feelings for Vea and vice versa. So he should have had this discussion with her very, very, very early on. While he's up there on these apps, looking for companionship, he needs to put it in his profile or something saying, I'm a Muslim man. I'm very strong in my beliefs. My family will not accept me marrying anybody who's not Muslim. So if you can't convert eventually, then, keep swipe left, swipe right, whatever, keep it pushing. Don't stop here. But he didn't. And he didn't want to talk about her possibly converting until way, 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 way down the line when the feelings were already developed. The feelings were already really strong. And that's when he wanted to bring it up. And I don't know. I don't know. If he feels like Vea is worth him losing his family over, then so be it. It might be a story to tell their grandkids one day, how their love was so strong that he was willing to give up his family, his whole entire family, to be with this woman because he loved her so much. So hopefully that's going to be how, this story goes. That they're going to stay together, they're going to get married, have children, stay together for years and years and decades to come. And it's going to be something for them to look back on and to be proud of the decisions that they made, that they're willing to go through such lengths to be together. Hopefully that's how it ends. So the next day is the day of Vea's departure. Sunny is talking about how he's going to be so much alone because now he has no family. He talks about how he's going to be alone after Vea leaves. And Vea says that she cannot fill the void of him losing his family, but she can definitely be a very supportive fiance. And as they say their goodbyes at the airport, he reminds her once again, remember, you promised me that you were going to be with me forever. And I really hope and pray that Vea will stay with this man forever because he has given up so much to be with her. Now, something about their relationship, though, something about the relationship doesn't really sit right with me because I don't think that love should be this hard. I don't think that being together should require so much sacrifice. Um, so I don't know. Like I said, it could be the most beautiful love story ever, and a man giving up his whole family to be with a woman that he loves, or it could be the biggest mistake of his life, that he would risk severing all ties with his father to be with a girl who probably didn't even want to really be with him, or who ended up breaking up with him and breaking his heart. I don't know. We'll find out at the tell-all exactly what transpired after she returned back to the United States, but I don't know. It could go either way. Like I said, it could go either way. It could be the most beautiful love story, the most tragic love story ever. So we'll see what happens. I really do think that a lot of this could have been avoided if you just would have had this conversation about conversion with her a lot earlier, before the feelings got too deep. His father, to me, there's no way of changing that man's mind. What he believes in is, it's entrenched in religion, it's entrenched in centuries, like hundreds of years of religion. So that I don't think there's any way to convince the father any other way. Maybe there are, I don't know, there probably are a lot of Muslim parents who are like, hey, we are very much deep in our faith, but we really don't care if our children marry Muslims or non-Muslims. But Sunny's dad is not one of those parents, so there was no way of convincing him otherwise. I just felt like that Sunny should have made better decisions, and I hope that Vea stays with him forever and ever. Moving on to Tiger Lily and Adnan. So Tiger Lily meets up with her two friends, Cruz and Shay. I think her name is Shay. She meets up with the two of them, and she's in her second trimester. So the belly bump is there. It's very prominent. She is very pregnant. And they show us a quick little clip of her going back to, I'm assuming it was Jordan. I don't know where they met up again, but her going back to the Middle East to meet with Adnan to basically tell him that she was pregnant. And she told him by giving him a necklace that had her name and his name, and it also had baby on it. And so that's how he found out that Tiger Lily was pregnant. And of course, he was really happy, very excited about it, because this is exactly what he really wanted for the both of them. So coming back to current times, they are currently not current times right now, but like in the show, Tiger Lily tells us that her and Adnan are in the middle of renovating a cabin. And while the cabin is being renovated, she is staying in hotels with her two kids. So that's where she's at when we see Tiger Lily. So his visa interview is coming up, and she tells her friends that Adnan wants to keep his apartment in Jordan. And this kind of bothers her because she's like, if you're going to start a new life with me, you're going to give up your apartment in Jordan, because there's no need for you to be worried about having a place to stay in your home country, because your new home country is going to be America. So why would you need to keep any type of residency or any type of residence in Jordan? So that kind of bothers her that he's not willing to give up his apartment. Another issue that's bothering Tiger Lily is that Adnan has appointed his brother as his power of attorney. And so, of course, when it comes to certain decisions, certain legal decisions or financial decisions, the brother can step into Adnan's shoes and make those decisions. So this bothers her because she thinks that now the brother will have access to her stuff, like the way Adnan would have access to her stuff, like her bank account, her money, her credit, all kinds of stuff. So she's worried about that. If the brother can stand in Adnan's shoes as his power of attorney, then the brother can dip into her accounts to see how much money she has, to take money from her accounts, all the things that, her husband would be able to do. So that also bothers her. And so she says that she's spoken with an attorney, and this attorney is going to draw up a post nuptial agreement. Now, the friends are looking at her like, girl, we talked about this already. We told you before you got married to Adnan that you should have had a prenup. That should have all been taken care of and discussed way before you got married. Now you're in a pickle and you're scared to death of bringing this up to your husband because you know that, Adnan can be a little bit unhinged. So now you're all worried when you should have just listened to us to begin with. So she says, I shouldn't have to protect myself, from my husband. That's her reasoning as to why she did not do a prenup, because she didn't feel like she had to protect herself from her husband. But Tiger Lily, it's not like you and Adnan have known each other for years and years and years. Y'all are practically strangers. You know nothing of one another. Y'all jumped into this head first. The only reason why y'all got married so damn quickly was because y'all wanted to have the opportunity to sleep with each other. Because, him being Muslim, he cannot sleep with a woman that is not his wife. So y'all wanted to make it easier to do that. So y'all went ahead and got married. That's what I think. That's my personal opinion because I don't understand it. I can't see any other reason why they rushed into getting married. So they met on an app. They were talking for a couple of months. She flies over to Jordan and they get married right away. Why rush it? Why couldn't y'all take the time to get to know each other, to figure out if there's any future for y'all as a couple? But instead of doing any of that, the stuff that makes logical sense, y'all dive head first into getting married as soon as you land in Jordan. And I think it's really because they just wanted to be able to sleep with each other. That's the only reason I can think of why they got married so quickly. And so now she's all worried about a post-nup, prenup, all this other legal stuff to protect herself because this man has decided to make his brother his power of attorney. So she tells her friends that Adnan has no idea that her lawyer is going to be drawing up a post-nuptial agreement, and she is basically scared to death to bring this up to him. So back at her hotel, she's FaceTiming Adnan, and they talk about all the things that are bothering her. So the first thing she brings up is the apartment. She says that, I don't feel comfortable with you keeping your apartment in Jordan. And he's like, I'm going to do what I want to do. Okay. I want to keep my apartment. I'm going to keep my apartment. That's what I want to do. And that's just how it is. And I'm not going to change my mind. So she can't do nothing about that. Then she brings up the fact that she's also not comfortable with him making his brother a power of attorney. And then she talks about how, your brother's going to have access to all of my financial stuff and all my personal stuff, blah, blah, blah. And I don't feel comfortable about that. So I've already talked to an attorney and the attorney is going to draw up a post-nuptial agreement. And so Adnan is like, why does your mind even go there that my brother is going to do all these things? Why do you automatically jump to the negative things, like these really horrible things of the things that my brother could possibly like? Why do you think about that? Like, why are you thinking about those things? And in his confessional, he tells us the reason why he had appointed his brother as power of attorney is because he has a lot of money in Jordan. And I guess he's got, all kinds of businesses. He's a model. He has a bunch of money. He's got a lot going on in Jordan. And so I guess with him living in the United States, if anything needs to be taken care of in Jordan, instead of him having to fly back, just to sign some documents or whatever, I don't know, his brother will be able to stand in his shoes, in his place, and take care of all of this business for him. And that's the reason why he had appointed his brother as power of attorney. It had nothing to do with trying to get Tiger Lily's money or going into her accounts or whatever. It was for him to make it was to make it easier for him to take care of business when he can't presently or physically be there to do it. So Tiger Lily tells him that, okay, my attorney's going to draw up a post-nuptial agreement and they're going to be sending it to you. And Adnan tells Tiger Lily, because he's pissed now, he's really upset. He tells Tiger Lily, if I receive anything from your attorney, I am not going to go to my visa interview. So now she starts crying because she's like, oh my God, what if he doesn't come to America? I'm going to have to raise this baby by myself. I don't feel sorry for Tiger Lily because Tiger Lily, you're too grown of a woman. And you've experienced life. You've gotten married, you've had a couple of kids. And so you've been down this road before. You're not this young, innocent 21-year-old woman who's never gotten married, never been in a serious relationship, never done anything with her life. You are a married woman with children, and now you are a divorced woman. So you know the ins and outs of marriage. You know when everything is going really well and when everything starts falling apart, and what a divorce entails, and all the legalities and all the stuff that happens when you're going through a divorce. You would think that that would teach you a couple of lessons in your next go around, that you would know better and you would know how to protect yourself. But no, you want to get married to this stranger right away. You want to have his baby right away. And now you're in tears because he's making the kind of decision that you never saw coming, that you never anticipated. And now you're worried about how his decisions are going to affect your life. So I don't feel sorry for Tiger Lily. She is a grown woman. She's in her 40s, raising two kids. It seems like kind of like by herself or something. I don't know how involved her ex is. And I'm like, girl, you should know better. I don't know what to say about Tiger. She should know better. She should know better. At least do a prenuptial agreement. And the whole thing about why am I protecting myself from my husband? It's not that. It's that you are just protecting yourself and what you have for you and what you have for your children. And you don't know this man. You don't know Adnan the way you think you do. I think at one point she says something like, I don't like this Adnan. I like the Adnan that I met. Everybody is on their P's and Q's when they start a relationship and when they first meet someone. And then you give it some time and then you're going to see the real, true them start peeking out. And a lot of the times you're not going to like what you see. But Tiger Lily, you should just know better. I don't know what else to say. Let's move on to Vanja and Josco. So she's telling her cousin that when Josco returned to Europe, he had began ghosting her. She says that they had a pattern or a habit of talking every single day. Then all of a sudden, the calls got less and less and less, and she just stopped hearing from him. And when he did call her, when they did make contact, he told her that she was too needy, and then he hung up the phone, and she hadn't heard from him since. So then he tells her at some point later on that the reason why he broke up with her was because she was too needy, and also because she didn't have any motherly instincts. And that's when she completely stopped hearing from him. So Vanya thinks that because of the fact that she had told him before that she never envisioned her life with children, that he took that and ran with it and was like, this is the reason why I don't think you have motherly instincts. It's because, you've never carved out a space in your life for the possibility of having kids. That's what she thinks. So 2 weeks later, she's doing her thing because she's a belly dancer. We see her, doing her thing. She's dancing at the restaurant, and she's very talented. She dances extremely well. She's very, very beautiful when she dances. So after she does her little bit, Josco had reached out to her. So she FaceTimes him and they're having a conversation about their breakup. And Josco does admit that he ended things a little bit too harshly. So she's glad that he acknowledged that. And he said that because he was looking out for his child, he had to end things with her because his child is his priority. And he was under the impression that she just didn't like children. And Vanya's like, I've never said that I don't like children. And he was like, yes, you talked about how you don't want children running up and down your apartment or your house. You don't want them messing up things. You don't want them, breaking things in your apartment, and they're loud and they're clumsy and blah, blah, blah. And you just don't like all that mess, all that stuff that entails when it comes to having children in your home. And so he just kind of took that as, you don't plan on having kids. You don't want kids in your space. And so he was like, I can't be with a woman who can't accept my child. And she tells him, well, you never gave me the opportunity to really prove to you and show you that I don't have a problem having kids in my life. In fact, I was willing to turn my studio into a nursery. I was willing to do things to accommodate your son. Now, she does plan on going back to Croatia. And I guess when she does go back to Croatia, because this is where my TV cut off, we had like a slight power outage. I don't know exactly how that conversation ended, but the next time that I saw her, she was talking about how she still plans to go back to Croatia. And when she does go back, they're going to talk more in depth, I guess, of what they're going to do with their relationship. But it seems like this was like a big misunderstanding, him thinking or assuming that she doesn't want children, doesn't like children, because she was with a man who had a child and it broke her heart that, she was no longer in that child's life. And so she has avoided being with men who had children to avoid that type of heartache. And maybe he misunderstood and he was just like, oh, so she doesn't want to be with somebody with kids because she doesn't like kids. I don't know. But it seems like there's some type of miscommunication or misunderstanding between Josco and Vanja. I don't think Vanja hates kids or doesn't want children in her life. I think that she's just worried about being attached to someone else's child. And then, the relationship not working out and then, whatever. I think that's what she's concerned about. I don't think she dislikes children, but we'll see what happens. Moving on to Magda and Joe. So Joe, once again, is trying to argue his position because remember the last time that we saw Magda and Joe, he had just revealed to her that he's actually friends with one of his exes. And Magda did not like that, but not for the reasons that Joe thinks. Yes, it bothers her that they're still friends, but the bigger issue with Magda is that Joe had lied about it because she had asked him previously, are you friends with any exes? And he had told her no. So that's the reason why she's upset, because he withheld that information and he flat out lied about still being friends with an ex. That's what pissed her off. That's what made her want to tear out their eyeballs and eat them. So they talk about it and he apologizes and he tells her, I'm not going to do that again. Please forgive me. I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to lie to you ever again in life. So she decides to give him another chance. He gives her a necklace and they're going to move forward. But she does say to him, yes, I will take you back and yes, we can move forward, but only under the condition that you do not have any more physical contact with Jill. You can still talk to her on the phone, but no more in-person contact. No more face-to-face contact with her. And I think he had agreed to that. So they go hiking in the mountains and, because it's so beautiful and so romantic, she's thinking that this is a great opportunity for him to propose to me. So she's expecting some type of a proposal when they're out there in the mountains hiking. And of course he doesn't propose, but they do have a discussion about commitment. And he tells her, I do plan to commit to you. I do plan to propose to you. I just need you to give me time. Plus, I want you to meet my family and friends first. So I guess he wants to know what his people are going to think of her when they actually meet her and if she's actually a good choice for him. I think that's basically what he's waiting on. But he gives her all types of encouragement that my plan is to marry you because I'm not here to play games. I'm really serious about us. If you're serious, I'm serious. And she's like, of course I'm serious. Of course I want to be with you. Of course I want to marry you. Now it's time for Joe to leave. So at the airport, it was really, really, really sweet. I felt like, I don't know. I think the jury's still kind of out with Magda and Joe, but I definitely see potential between them. Um, I feel like they kind of get each other. They kind of understand each other. I don't know. But I feel like I'm not that weary of Magda and Joe. I think Magda is a little bit on the crazy side, but I think he likes that kind of crazy. I think he likes the crazy in her. So when they were saying goodbye, I don't know, it kind of tugged on my heart a little bit. I thought it was really sweet. He promised her that, that he's gonna be faithful to her, that he's not going to be with any other woman and vice, all this stuff. So they make all these promises to each other. They say goodbye. They say they love each other. And then he is on his way back to the United States. She wants him to hurry up and get this ball rolling because she quit her job and she can only survive on her savings for so long. So her plan is that she's going to go to America and Joe's going to take care of her, I guess. I don't know. But she needs to get to America pronto. So she needs him to hurry up on getting her to America to meet his family and friends and to do this proposal because she can only go on for so long with whatever's going on in her savings account, I guess. Moving on to Matilda and Niles. So When we see Matilda and Niles are in their hotel, they're in bed, and they let us know that they've consummated their marriage. And of course, it was good, as it always is on these reality TV shows. No one ever has, bad sex on these shows. Everyone is having great, fantastic, mind-blowing sex. So they're both very satisfied. So Niles is getting ready to leave to go back to the United States. And he tells Matilda that he got a new job. So one of the jobs that he interviewed for called him back with an offer. He took it. So he's going to be working once he gets back to the United States. So he's really happy about that. But then she does ask him, okay, I'm happy for you and all that, but what the hell happened to your last job? Why did they fire you? And he says he doesn't know. He says he has no idea. He said that Alabama is an at-will state. So people can fire you without giving you any reason or any explanation, and it's perfectly legal, and you have no recourse. You just have to leave. So Matilda is kind of like, that doesn't really make sense to me. I feel like, he might be hiding something from me because he has lied to me before. And so they talk about that. They talk about the fact that he has lied to her before. She does have issues with trusting him. And he promises her that he's not going to lie again. He's always going to be upfront and honest with her. And she decides to, go ahead and believe him and take him up on his word on that. So they're going to move forward with that. And it's the day of Niles' departure. Now, when they were saying goodbye to one another at the airport, I had to hold back tears. I don't know why, but I had to hold back tears watching Niles and Matilda say goodbye at the airport. It was really, really sweet. It was extremely emotional. Matilda was crying. You could tell that Niles was really, really sad to let her go. After he left, she was talking in her confessional, and she was saying, who's going to be there to take care of me, and who's going to be there to give me my squishies. I guess, whenever he squeezes her cheeks, he always says squish, squish. So she's like, who's going to be there to give me my squishies? And it was just the sweetest, most heartfelt moment. Their goodbye to me, kind of like Niles and Matilda in general, have kind of restored my hope and my faith in this show. Okay. They single-handedly have restored my faith in this show, because I think that this season, I feel like this was a pretty good season, because I feel like the couples, for the most part, were real. For the most part. I think the couples that I really have faith, Tiger, Lily, and Adnan, you gotta believe that that's real, because she's pregnant. She's having a real baby. So you gotta believe that that's real. Vanja and Josco, the jury's still out. I think Magda and Joe are probably real. The relationship is real. And for sure, Matilda and Niles. Vea and Sunny, it just seems kind of odd that he is so entrenched in his faith, and he knows how his father is with their religion, but he took a gamble on a girl who was not even going to convert. He didn't, not took a gamble, that he was willing to be with a woman that he did not know would convert, and did not bring up the discussion of conversion until much later on in their relationship. That just seems really odd and fishy to me. Of course, Lauren and, what was her name? Faith. Lauren and Faith, we know that was a bunch of hogwash. And Brian and the girl from Brazil. Brian, I don't think his intentions were genuine ever. I don't think his intentions were genuine with her. I think that's it, y'all. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video. If you like this content, subscribe to my channel, and I'll definitely talk to you later. Bye.